Hi, welcome to our channel True Up. China's most recent 5-year plan prioritizes semiconductor manufacture as the world's second largest economy prepares for an intensified tech battle with the US. SMIC is a reputable chip maker in China, as we all know. A new Shenzhen factory will start producing in 2022, while SMIC is building a second wafer fab in Beijing that will begin operations in 2024. The business is also investing in a brand new facility in Shanghai's Lin-Gang neighborhood, which has been recognized by the local government as a hub for the semiconductor sector. Since it was founded, the mainland Chinese chip foundry has been able to advance swiftly in technology by utilizing experienced semiconductor personnel from Taiwan. So, how can SMIC promote self-sufficiency in the Chinese semiconductor industry? Can SMIC ensure that the activity ultimately succeeds? What exactly is SMIC, and how is it related to Taiwan? Richard Chang Rujin, who spent 20 years at U.S. semiconductor manufacturer Texas Instruments designing new wafer fabs, founded SMIC in April 2000. The leading employer for talent in Taiwan for many of Smic's engineers and important senior managers was TSMC. In November 2009, 3 days after the company won a lengthy legal dispute with TSMC, which had sued Chang's business for allegedly stealing intellectual property by recruiting former TSMC workers, Chang resigned as CEO of SMIC. Since 2017, SMIC has operated a shared senior management arrangement, with Zhao Haijun and Liang Mongsong appointed co-CEOs in October of that year. Zhao joined the company in October 2010, with 28 years of experience in the industry, while Liang came to SMIC with 35 years of experience, including senior positions in research and development at TSMC until 2009. Another ex-TSMC executive was hired by SMIC in December 2020. Chang Shangyi was appointed vice chairman after a 40-year career in the semiconductor industry, including as head of the TSMC R&D team. Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp., based in Shanghai, is regarded as the nation's top producer of chips used in a variety of electronics devices, including cell phones, laptops, vehicles, and mobile base stations. The U.S. trade sanctions put in place as a result of Smic's suspected links to the Chinese military, which the company denies, have made it difficult for SMIC to catch up technologically to chip foundry behemoth Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. As a consequence of the rising demand for mature technology nodes resulting from the greater usage of chips in a variety of consumer applications, SMIC is concentrating on them. The co-CEOs of SMIC are said to have opposing goals. Zhao sought to create commercially viable products utilizing more established technology, which placed him at conflict with Liang, who supported an aggressive leading-edge strategy for SMIC. What role does SMIC play in China's plans for self-sufficiency? As the largest and most technologically sophisticated chip manufacturer in China, SMIC is regarded as the nation's national champion in Beijing's effort to achieve semiconductor self-sufficiency in the midst of the US-China tech war. China is prioritizing chip manufacture in its most recent 5-year plan as it prepares for a more intense tech conflict with the US. In July, China produced 31.6 billion integrated circuits, a monthly record, up more than 41% year-over-year due to robust demand and the addition of additional manufacturing capacity. With a total investment of close to 50 billion yuan, Smic's new Beijing facility is scheduled to begin operations in 2024 and have a monthly production capacity of 100,000 12-inch silicon wafers. According to a report released by the Pingshan District Government of Shenzhen, the new Shenzhen facility would use established technology to primarily create display driver and power management chips on a piece of land the size of 5 football fields. Smartphone chips, which accounted for 44.4% of Smic's wafer sales last year, are the company's largest market and provide more than half of the country's wafer income, together with Hong Kong. The majority of Smic's revenue comes from established technology nodes, which made up 37.5% of its overall revenue in the first quarter of 2021. How has the US-China tech conflict hurt SMIC? The U.S. Department of Commerce restricted SMIC from adopting U.S. technologies in October 2020 by designating it as a military end user. SMIC was then included on the Entity List in December of that same year on the basis of U.S. national security and foreign policy objectives. This further prohibited the corporation from acquiring U.S. chip production machinery and required the issuance of a license prior to exports. According to the U.S. Commerce Department, items needed to create chips at the 10 nanometer and below node would be subject to a presumption of rejection. The prohibition will make it difficult for SMIC to import the extreme ultraviolet (EUV) scanners that ASML, a Dutch firm, sells. According to SMIC, the loss of a major customer, likely Huawei Technologies Company, which is also subject to U.S. trade sanctions, caused its proportion of wafer income from advanced 14 nanometers and 28 nanometers processing nodes to decline significantly from the prior July-September quarter. How does it deal with U.S. sanctions? Although recent export license approvals show that the Chinese company has not been completely cut off from U.S. technology, Smic's prospects for climbing the technological ladder are still clouded by U.S. trade restrictions imposed on it because of its alleged connections to the Chinese military, which it denies. According to a recent Reuters article, which used papers obtained from the U.S. Congress, suppliers to SMIC were granted 188 licenses worth $42 billion to sell goods to the Chinese foundry between November 2020 and April 2021. In a revised purchase deal for $1.2 billion, SMIC acquired deep ultraviolet lithography systems from the Dutch company ASML in March. This might support the Chinese company's capacity development for more advanced nodes. In order to make up for its deficiency in nanometer process nodes, according to company Vice Chairman Chang Shangyi, SMIC should concentrate on creating cutting-edge packaging technologies that can fit more circuits into smaller packages. SMIC has previously made investments in specialized businesses in the chip packaging industry. After ASE of Taiwan and Amkor of South Korea, it owns 12.86% of the shares in China's JCT Group, the third largest IC packaging and testing business. Will SMIC ever lead the world in chip manufacturing? According to Taiwan-based market research company TrendForce, SMIC ranks number 5 among the top 10 foundries, with a market share of 5%, trailing only TSMC, Samsung Electronics, United Microelectronics Corporation, and Global Foundries. SMIC, however, is outperformed by number 1 player TSMC, which announced first quarter revenue of $12.9 billion, with first quarter revenue of little over $1 billion. In my opinion, Smic's inability to build more sophisticated chips due to its lack of access to EUV technology would impede its efforts to catch up to TSMC in terms of technological advancement. However, the majority of Chinese semiconductor design businesses require established technology nodes between 350 nanometers and 28 nanometers, particularly those creating chips for the Internet of Things and automotive applications. The mature 28 nanometers technology node is the primary focus of Smic's 3 new fabrication facilities, which are being constructed in Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. Thanks for watching our video. We would appreciate it if you subscribed our channel and gave us a thumb. See you.